Blog Talk Radio.
Stand by, stand by, stand by.
John in Connecticut and Mike in North Jersey bring hard-hitting, hilarious golf talk with Dave in the City on Locks of the Week Radio.
Coast to coast, internet sports talk, Locks of the Week.
Doc Rivers continues to time and time again not get it when it comes to getting... Oh! Let him play!
How Connecticut are you? Are you wearing khakis and a polo? Regarding Lynch, who cares? What was he going to do today? Was he going to address each reporter? Oh, thank you for the question.
Cap ran through the entire Yankee lineup, but he left out one guy, and his name is Alex Rodriguez.
I like to try and forget about him because.
From Los Angeles, this is Dave in the City, brought to you by Locks of the Week Radio. Now, here's Dave Medina.
Good evening, sports fans, and a pleasure to have you here for the big Wednesday show. Good to have you with us from the Dave in the City studios in sunny Southern California, celebrating a historic accomplishment in the world of professional golf. And to break that down with us, we have John in Connecticut and Mike in North Jersey joining us in just a moment in our first hour to talk about Jason Day's very, very, very exciting, important, and emotional PGA Championship win. A major for Jason Day after going through so much, the vertigo at the U.S. Open, and a lot of other issues from his personal life. And maybe not issues, but just things that he's been going through. It's certainly been an eventful year, a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and I'm happy for Jason Day. That's all I can say right now. I just think it's great that he was able to come through after being so close in all the majors leading up to this one, the PGA Championship. And even this time around, you had Jordan Spieth right on his tail most of the tournament, and he manages to get through all that. He has an incredible back nine on the third round on Saturday with four birdies and one eagle on the back nine. Then he manages to maintain that score and take in a surge from Spieth, take in a surge from Branden Grace, take in a surge from Matt Jones, and some others who were in range, Justin Rose, for example. It really has been just tremendous to see. And I can't imagine anybody being not happy for Jason Day right now. Even Rory McIlroy on Twitter congratulated Jason Day after the event. And it's an interesting day for Rory McIlroy as well. He tried to give it a go despite fighting the injury in soccer, which kept him out of the Open Championship about a month ago. But he tried it this time out, and I guess you could say mixed results from Rory McIlroy, but it's not really about McIlroy today. It is about two people. Jason Day winning the PGA Championship, setting the new all-time low mark for a major championship score at -20, the coveted -20 mark, which Jordan Spieth teased, was flirting with it in the Masters tournament. Didn't happen, but here it did for Jason Day. The other big moment is for Spieth himself, who now, with the second-place finish and a very nice score on Sunday, becomes the #1 golfer according to the Golf World Ranking. So that's where we begin tonight. We'll now join our panelists for this evening. We've done it all year. We do it every year. Our friends John in Connecticut and Mike in North Jersey to break it all down. In hour 2, we'll have our friend Kevin on the Cape for Kevin's Random Questions, with a new feature this year. With a new feature. And it's called Dave Breaks Down the Top 10. And it's as simple as that. We take the top 10 songs of the month from the Billboard Hot 100 in popular music, and Junkie and I will just listen to a clip of each one, and we'll just see what we think of it. So that's coming up at I think that's coming up, we'll say 10:30 tonight Eastern Time for those on YouTube. And then our regular Random Questions. We're celebrating our 5th year tonight. This is our 5th year doing live shows on the Dave in the City program. So we're very excited to bring you a quality sports experience for all of you, talking about all that there is. So let's not waste any more time. Here's John in Connecticut joining us tonight on the show. It's just him right now. I don't see Mike. Hopefully he'll join us in a minute. But let's bring in John. John, welcome back to the program. It's really great to have you back for our final golf major recap of the year. How's it going tonight?
Doing good, Dave. Mike might have waited to call because I called right at 9 and I couldn't connect, so I'm sure he'll be on in a minute. But, yeah, great to be here. I can't believe it's the PGA Championship recap already. It just seems like yesterday we were talking about the Masters. So good to be here, and certainly will be interested in that top 10 song review later on in the show. I guess you guys are turning into an MTV show here on Dave in the City, reviewing top 10 songs.
Yeah, it's. I thought I'd mix it up a bit this summer, so we'll try it out. We're just gonna do it once a month though, because otherwise we'll lose our focus of the show completely. So we'll just do it once a month, but it'll be fun to poke fun at these songs and see what we have to say. Let's bring in our second guest. You're right, John. He has called in. Here he is. Mike in North Jersey just joins us on the telephone. So, Mike, welcome to the program. How's it going tonight?
Hi, Dave. Sorry I'm a little bit late. I figured this time I would take a bathroom break before the show rather than during the show as I once did. So my apologies for being a few minutes late, but I'm glad to be here with you guys and to talk about the PGA Championship.
Yeah, definitely a great and quite an event to cover. And by the way, no worries on that, because I think between the two choices, you made the right choice. That was definitely interesting. You got me. I would never have known the difference if you didn't tell me, but it was pretty funny that one time. Anyway, let's get to the subject at hand, and it is the PGA Championship. And I have a lot of notes tonight because there's a lot we have to keep track of. We had some prop bets, as you remember, which we'll get to in about 20 minutes. But right now, we'll talk about the winner, Jason Day, winning the PGA Championship, coming so close so many times. And he sets the new major record with a score of -20, which some guys have flirted with, including Jordan Spieth, who was close to it in the Masters. And as John said, it was just amazing how fast the time has flown. I also felt like it was just like a few weeks ago we talked about the Masters. So Day getting this done, I just think it's great. I think everybody's all around sports has been so happy for him. And you saw him crying, just outright bawling on the green when it was all said and done. And you could feel for him there. I mean, you could feel how great that was, because he's been through a lot. I mean, maybe medically he has, emotionally he has, and in terms of his play, he has been through a lot too, because he's been so close. You figured he's just way too talented not to win. I'm very happy for Jason Day. So that's my piece. John, let's get your piece on Jason Day. What were you thinking as he won this PGA Championship?
Yeah, I mean, it was just pretty much a dominating performance. I'll be honest, I wasn't in the mix with the tournament as much as I should have been. Thursday through Saturday, I had other stuff going on for work and whatnot. I kept track of the scores and watched like an hour or two when I could, but I really watched everything on Sunday, and he was just really impressive. I think what won it for him is he destroyed the par fives. He was like 14 or 15 under out of his 20 under total on the par fives, and the 20 under is a record for under par in a major championship, which is just unbelievable when you think about it. I know the PGA is set up to be, lower scoring than some of the other majors, but still 20 under par in a major, I mean, that course is not that easy. Although these guys didn't make it look pretty easy this week, at least the leaders did. But 20 under par is just phenomenal. I mean, he was due. He's been playing some of the best golf in the world outside of anyone not named Jordan Spieth over the last 6 months, and really he was due for a major win, and it was really good to see him break through. I mean, he's by all accounts one of the nicest guys on tour, and he kind of puts to rest, the best player not to win a major title. I mean, you could have said him or Dustin Johnson or Ricky Fowler, one of those guys, but I think this could be a springboard for him, kind of like after Mickelson won his first Masters, he won more majors after that, and I could definitely see that for Jason Day, and he's only 27 years old. I mean, he's entering the prime of his career, and just a fantastic performance by him.
No doubt about it. Now let's go to John, and let's go to Mike with his impressions of Jason Day's performance.
It was possibly the most dominant driving performance in major championship history. And thank God he won, because if he hadn't pulled it out, he would have had the 54-hole lead in 3 consecutive majors and not convert once. Now, that would bring back memories of Greg Norman in 1986, which is infamously known as the Saturday Slam, where he led after 54 holes in all 4 majors and only won once.
Wow.
But that scarred Greg Norman for his entire career, and that's why he was a choke artist, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And it really marked, really, this was kind of the turning point, or the fork in the road for Jason Day. If he was going to pull this out, he's going to go on, he's going to win, quite a few majors. If he hadn't, we would be talking about him maybe as another Dustin Johnson, who it looks like, this guy is just not going to be able to get it done. And he probably would have been scarred forever if he hadn't pulled this out. But, if you see Jason Day play in person, his ball striking is just phenomenal. It's on the level of Rory McIlroy. You just see him, McIlroy, Bubba Watson, and it's just like they're playing a different game than everyone else. And as for the 20 under par, yeah, that was extremely impressive, but maybe we can talk about this a little bit later in the program. The majors this year played exceptionally easy. And I think the PGA kind of went a little bit too far this year with how they do their course setups. Usually they have it great. It's a tough course, but a very fair setup, and they allow the players to score. And with this, I almost felt they neutered the course a little bit, but we can get into that a little bit later.
Yeah, that's an interesting point, because I found the course was, I know the course was said to be a tough course, Whistling Straits was, so we'll talk about that as we go along. You're right. Now let's talk about Jordan Spieth, who had a very good round himself, and he became the new #1 golfer in the World Golf ranking by taking that second place finish. He beats Rory McIlroy, who had the ranking previously. And Rory McIlroy was very, very classy about it. He congratulated Jordan on Twitter, as I mentioned earlier in the show. But he had some great shots of his own. I mean, he had some wizardry, as David Faraday was quick to point out over and over again, repeatedly comparing him to Harry Potter. But you could see some of the shots, and hey, you know what? You can see the comparison, because he was just making some wicked shots. He would be getting shots out of the sand that go right next to the hole. Just amazing, the kind of shots. I think it was maybe not out of the sand, but out of the fescue. It was just so good. So I had a good time watching him as well. John, let's talk about Jordan Spieth. He really is the next great thing in golf. And so you mentioned it on the Twitter as well. People writing off golf because Tiger's no longer a factor. I think that was premature, because I think we've got that new guy, and here he is, Jordan Spieth. And Rory McIlroy, for that matter. But McIlroy was not 100%. So let's talk about Spieth. What did you make of what you saw of him this weekend?
I mean, there's running out of superlatives to describe this guy. I mean, it reminds me of Tiger, and I hate to draw those comparisons because it's really not fair to Jordan, because, as much as we kill Tiger, he's still won 14 majors, but this is how Tiger used to play. Like, he wouldn't bring his A-plus game on Thursday or maybe early Friday, but he'd be just kind of hanging around in the tournament, a couple under, and then all of a sudden he'd just switch on another gear, and when he had to score, he would do it. And that's exactly what Jordan Spieth has done in the last, couple tournaments and majors. He just gets that extra gear, and I mean, he was 1 under after day 1, and then he shoots 5 under, and then the unbelievable back 9 on Saturday to put himself. It was just like out of the blink of an eye. Here comes Jordan Spieth up the leaderboard and into the final group. And really, when you look at it, 2015, Jordan Spieth was one of the greatest golf seasons in the history of the sport. 2 wins. He finishes second in the PGA, if not for one of the greatest performances in major championship history by Jason Day. Spieth wins the 3rd major here, and he's 1 shot out of the playoff to the British Open, the Open Championship, But he, again, easily could have won if he had played the last 2 holes and won under par. So it's just amazing. And as the point I made earlier on Twitter the other night, and it's not just Jordan Spieth. I mean, this generation of golfers, I mean, gone is the Tiger, Phil, E.J. Singh, Ernie Els, Jim Furyk, that whole era. I know, Furyk and Mickelson still compete, but that generation is gone. Now we're in the generation of Rory McIlroy, Jordan Spieth, Jason Day, Bubba Watson, Dustin Johnson, those guys. And honestly, the competition is so great right now on the PGA Tour. It is just a thrill to watch these guys play. And they're all under 30 years old, and it's going to be a heck of a race in the next 10 to 15 years to see how many majors these guys can pile up. So golf is in an incredible place right now.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. I mean, it is fun to really follow, and it's exciting for the sport. So I'm really happy for golf that they really have a nice group to work with, and they seem like good guys too. Although time will tell them that, but right now it seems like there's fun, good attitude. You go all the way down. I mean, you talk about guys, pretty much what you want. It's a really good place to be for the sport of golf. So now let's go to Mike in North Jersey for his impressions of Jordan Spieth from the weekend.
Well, there's really not much you can say other than this incredible run continues, and this ability to, just pull out the shots when he needs them. It's really. I would disagree with John a little bit. He doesn't remind me of Tiger Woods when Tiger Woods was really at his best. If you want to compare him to Tiger Woods, I would say that the Hank Haney version of Tiger Woods, that's a fair comparison. Because with that version, he always seemed to, he'd be hanging around, and then he would just find a way to, he'd get these miracle up and downs or pull off these incredible shots when he needed them. But Tiger Woods at his best was just this long, powerful, completely overpowering golf course, and that's really what made him so dominant. Jordan Spieth is, perhaps the greatest putter and short game player we've seen in quite a long time, and he has this ability, which I think is unique among the professional golfers, in that he's able to get angry when he hits a bad shot. And the whole idea is that you're supposed to keep this even keel while you're playing. Don't get mad. Don't get too up. Don't get too down. He's able to get angry, but he's able to take that anger and then channel it into increasing his focus. And that's what you notice about him. You see him, he reacts, and then, he just pulls off the next shot. And, to be able to do that is, as, John and I both play golf, that's incredibly difficult to do. And even the guys on the PGA Tour can't do it. You see them, if they get mad, usually, the stretch kind of continues. As for his play, it was just another, what can you say when the guy's making these 48-foot birdies, 48-foot bunker shots going in for birdie on 18, and then the way he played on Saturday with the 30 on the back nine, I don't know how you birdie 17 and 18 on that course. I mean, that was just incredible. It was certainly a historic season. We were very close to seeing 3 majors in a row. As for his future, I think this year actually might be a high watermark, and there's a few reasons for that, but still, he'll be an incredible talent for years to come. And I'll agree with John. We are certainly in a great place with the current state of the game with golf, and it's now very clear that the Tiger Woods in 2008 and 2006 playing against the likes of Chris DeMarco and Rocco Mediate. You know, let's be honest. That era sucked. And those guys would get their asses kicked out here with the players we have today.
Yeah, I'll just jump in. Remember, like, when Chris DeMarco was the next big thing and everyone was going, like, crazy about him? I think he has one tour win, and I don't think he's played on the tour in, like, 5 years now. I mean, it's a joke.
Yeah. Chris DeMarco finished second to Tiger twice in majors. So we got Chris DeMarco, Rocco Mediate, and Woody Austin. Oh, yeah, that sounds like the murderer's row of golfers there.
Remember from that era, Davis Duval? Or Davis Love the third. Which one was it? Is it Love or Duval? But either one.
Yeah.
Guys like that.
Yeah, Davis Love the third. Yeah, he had like 20 wins on the tour. He's not a bad player, but he's like, I don't know.
He just fell apart.
Yeah, Duval was number one in the world, and then I don't know what happened to him. He's just done. He's on the Golf Channel now. He's not terrible. He actually provides some okay analysis, but I don't know what happened to his game. But back in his day, Duval was an amazing player.
Good stuff, as I say. Very good. Okay, so let's continue with the leaderboard and cover some of the other performances from the weekend's PGA Championship in Whistling Straits in Wisconsin. We will cover the course in a little bit, and we will get to our prop bets in about 10 minutes that we were talking about in our previous golf recap back when we were doing the Open Championship. And this is fun. This will be fun to revisit. But let's get to some of the other players from the tournament. Branden Grace had some really nice shots, but man, he melted down in a big way on that back nine. Remember that, guys? That was just awful. Matt Jones had a shot out of a hospitality tent, and I will never forget that because it was just number one to have that kind of mongo to hit the shot that far into the tents was crazy. But then he got out of it because he had a great shot, and it was just coming off of literally off of felt, and it was just so great. It was so funny to watch that. And then, of course, our friend Dustin Johnson, who once again had a hot start. Interesting final round, though. He had a +4 on his first hole. Just miserable. And everybody was, quitting on him. I think Jim Nantz is like, I can't believe this. This is unbelievable that dude would do this. And then after that, he turned it around, and he finished -12. But that really does say a lot about who Dustin Johnson is, doesn't it, guys? He is the guy that can do great things when he doesn't have the pressure on him. But when the game matters, it just seems like he can't handle it. So let's cover the rest of the field. I will start with John once again. Branden Grace, Matt Jones, Dustin Johnson, Justin Rose. If you want, you can go into Anna Bonlariri and some other guys. What do you think about the other players from the field this weekend?
Yeah, you're right about Dustin Johnson. I mean, you said it perfectly. He he's not really in contention, but if he goes out and shoots 6 or 7 under, he'll put a little pressure on the leaders. He's playing ping pong on the first green. He can't even. He's like every shot he can't make it up the hill on the first hole, and he makes an 8. And then the pressure is just completely off at that point. So he's just basically, fuck it, excuse my language, but at that point he's just screw it, and he just goes out there and birdies every hole. And he ends up tied for 7th, but after the first hole, it didn't matter. I mean, he was just playing pressure free. He just could go for everything, and that's pretty much Dustin Johnson in a nutshell. I don't think I'll believe it when I see it when it comes to him, playing well for 4 straight rounds and not choking, winning a major. But as for the rest of the field, I mean, there's really nothing else that I feel is important to add. I don't know. I think the main storylines for this tournament were Jason Day and Jordan Spieth. I guess we can talk about Rory McIlroy coming back from the injury. I mean, he acquitted himself pretty well. I mean, he had a leaderboard here. He finished 9 or 10 under, tied 17th by himself. I mean, that's respectable coming back from that injury. So I mean, he didn't play that poorly. So really nothing else to mention. I mean, Dustin Rose is always in contention for majors. It seems these days he'll probably break through one of these times. Although his putting has been pretty poor. You've watched the coverage the last couple of weeks. He I can't even explain. His putter face is open, and Nick Faldo talked about it, and that's gonna be a problem for him with those pressure putts. I guess we could talk about Tiger after. Oh, we're gonna talk about Tiger with our my prop bet that I had.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, there's really nothing else to mention for the rest of the field. So that's about it.
All right, very well, very well. John, let's go to Mike for his thoughts on the remainder of the field, including the up and down Dustin Johnson.
With Dustin Johnson, that's, no surprise. He opens up with a terrific 66. He's the leader after round one, and sure enough, he goes out in round two and shoots 73. Would you really expect anything else at this point? Something that definitely deserves to be mentioned. Hiroshi Iwata, who I have never even heard of, shot 63 in round two, and that ties, obviously, the lowest round ever shot in a major. Now, that's quite an amazing accomplishment. He finished 7 under total for the tournament, but some guy I've never heard of, went out there and tied a mark that's, it's considered one of the really, I don't know, it's when someone shoots 62 in a major, it's going to be a very big deal. So, who else to mention? David Lingworth. This guy is playing some very, very good golf, and I would say watch out for him next year. He unfortunately he had a terrible third round. He shot a 75, but if he hadn't shot that 75, he would have been right in there. Matt Jones. Now, I actually have an interesting little side bit to that story of him hitting out of the hospitality tent. Mm-hmm. The first time I ever went to see a professional golf tournament was the 2010 Barclays, and Rory McIlroy is off early in the morning with this guy Matt Jones, who I have never heard of. So they get to the fifth hole, which is this short par 4 with this very narrow green, and Matt Jones drives the green, makes eagle. McIlroy hit into a greenside bunker and then hold the bunker shot. So they both eagle this par 4. Now, if you remember last year when Phil Mickelson had to hit out of a hospitality, tent or pavilion, it was on that hole.
Oh, wow.
So I just, it was funny to see that my memory of Matt Jones, him driving a green, making eagle on a par 4, playing with Rory McIlroy, and then, sure enough, that's the hole where Mickelson is hitting out of the hospitality tent, and then Matt Jones is hitting out of the hospitality tent. But just to talk about that, that shot really can't be that difficult, because if you walk on them, it kind of feels like the mats that they have at driving ranges. So, I wouldn't mind that walk. Yeah, exactly.
I was just saying yes. Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, John. Go ahead, Mike.
Anyone else to talk about? McIlroy, he actually played very well, I thought, in the first round because him and Spieth were paired together. The wind was up. He was executing shots, but the putting wasn't there, and then he was just rusty. You could tell, but it was good to see that obviously this was not an ankle injury that would cause, it's not going to cause him any kind of career damage. We're not going to be talking about, if McIlroy hadn't hurt his ankle that year, who knows what would have been. It's not going to be a factor. Anyone else worth bringing up here? Justin Rose. He is what he is. He's a very good player. You expect to see him in the mix, but I don't think he's really going to win that many. He might win one more major if he's lucky. But, he's just someone that you get used to seeing in the mix. So, solid performance by him, but, it's expected. So, were there any big disappointments this week? Oh, yeah. Adam Scott. Clearly that putter changes his head.
Telling you.
Went 76-70.
Wow.
And, I hope that he finds some way to, get over that, because the guy is just such an incredible player. And to see him kind of, melt down over not being able to use the broomstick, which frankly he sucked at putting with it anyway. I hope he gets his head in the offseason.
That's great observations by you on all that, and I thought that was a great point about the hospitality tent surface, because the people on TV were saying something similar to that, and I think what was really great about that, watching that on TV, you had all the best guys covering that hole. You had Costas and Faraday both just having fun with that moment. And it was just great. And they were saying the same thing. They were saying, like, yeah, that surface is a lot like the mats you get at the driving range. It's a very similar kind of surface. So it's very interesting to see that it wasn't necessarily as far-fetched as it seemed on the surface. So an interesting point by you on that, Mike. All right, so now let's get to our next topic. But before we get to that, we'll take a break to talk about Matt Kuchar's Skechers commercial, which was all over the telecast. And probably one of the most awkward things I've ever seen in my life. But let me ask you, John, did you feel that Matt Kuchar was an effective salesman of Skechers shoes?
Dave, is this a serious question?
It was just so weird trying to see him with that goofy fake smile trying to sell shoes. It just seems so out of place to me. I was wondering if you had any other observations about Kuchar's marketing ability.
No. It's bad enough he is here's a cool tip, pick up your tee after you hit a good shot. No shit, Matt. I mean, come on. It's ridiculous.
Yep, can't disagree on that. Mike, anything from on the commercials?
I mean, the guy is just I don't even think the smile's fake anymore. It's just like he walks around with this ridiculous-looking smile on his face, and he constantly like when you see him talk, it's like, why are you holding the smile while you're talking? You just look so silly. And I actually saw a clip of him from like '98 when he was an amateur doing well, I think at the U.S. Open, and he still had that smile doing like that. And I'm like, this guy might be the biggest dork in the world. And I don't know. And if you want to look really cool, before the putt drops, walk off to the next tee. First of all, you're gonna lose a golf ball, and secondly, what if you miss the putt? Then you're really gonna look like an asshole if you do that.
Absolutely, I can dig that. John, any further comment? Anything? No. Okay. All right.
Cool.
All right.
I just say, I think maybe the only worst person to market a product was when they had Jim Furyk marketing and wearing the 5-hour energy hat, and he'd always collapse at the end of the tournament. So basically proving that 5-hour energy does not work for 5 hours.
They got him marketing like some website, like web.com or something, and he says like literally 2 words, then his wife comes in and does all the talking for him. It's just ridiculous. I don't know how they could even market him for something like that. You should be like the poster child for like I don't even know, like some retirement home or something. He's just an old boring old. I hate to say that, but I'm sorry, Jim.
Hi, I'm AARP.
Yeah, in one of those Furyk commercials, he says that he compares his playing golf to running a small business. How does that might be the dumbest thing I've ever heard. What's playing around the golf have to do with running a small business? Like, what are you talking about? Are you on acid or something, Jim?
Well, hey, remember Leslie Firestone, he lost the tournament, and he's like reading a 3-foot putt, taking 10 minutes. CBS is waiting to go off the air.
Oh, God. Yeah.
For that round or something. I mean, come on, Jim, just hit the fucking ball. We want to go home. The tournament's over.
And I think I remember that moment too. That was ridiculous. Tough to take. Yeah, you'll never see Jim Furyk as a spokesperson for for like Uber or something like speedy, like Jiffy Lube or something fast. Like that'll never happen. All right, let's move on. So we have to return to our prop bets that we broached at the end of our Open Championship recap. And there are two of them brought to the table by both John and Mike. The first was Tiger Woods versus Club Pros. And we set the over-under at 4. And we thought that 4 Club Pros could beat Tiger Woods. We didn't hit the over on that. It was under. Only 2 Club Pros beat Tiger. But I think the point still remains that Tiger is clearly way past his prime. So there that is. And then Woods versus Daly. John Daly finished with a 155. He had 73 and 82 in his 2 rounds. And Tiger Woods beat him by going 75 and 73 for a total of 148. But Daly was in that mix for quite a while. It's just that he blew up on the...
He had a 10 on one hole. He blew it in one hole. God damn it, John. You couldn't just hold it together on that hole. He made a 10. A pro golfer is a 10. He's made an 18 on a hole before. So he had to have one of those blow-up John Daly moments. Come on, John.
It's like after he hits the same club in the water 3 times in a row. After you hit the first 2 in the water, maybe you would take a different club, John, or maybe you would aim left from the lake. The lake is on the right. Aim left, John. I mean, come on. It doesn't take a rocket scientist to take a different club and hit it on the left side of the green after you put it in the water the first 2 times. And then he throws his club in the lake like he's surprised or something. At least that was a good souvenir for that kid on the boat. I mean, he's got a story to tell for the next 50 years. I got a club that John Daly threw in the lake in Whistling Straits out of disgust. And that's the deal.
Oh, man. Can't make it up, guys. You really can't. That's amazing, isn't it? How close that was? Unbelievable. But, yeah, there it is. So that's your summary. John Daly really had a shot at winning that prop bet. And I think I don't know what the money would have been on that, what the odds would have been. I wouldn't even, I have no idea, but it was that close. Tiger should definitely be mortified thinking about how close it really was that transpired. So there it is, another round of Tiger Woods really passing the grain. Not much else to say. Let's go to let's talk about the course now. Whistling Straits, it was a really nice course. I'll say that first off the top. It's really cool. It's right by the lake and everything. You get a lot of boats, and I was always curious, like, how did the boats get there? But I'm guessing that you can just sail over there from wherever, right? So you had some boats. You had some people in bathing wear, sitting outside the boat, watching the tournament, which is a pretty unique experience. Because, like, theoretically, you could do that off of any of these coastal courses, but Whistling Straits is unique in that the elevation of the course is low enough where you could do it from a boat. Like, you couldn't do it at Pebble Beach because the cliffs are so high, or off of Torrey Pines, same idea. So it's a very interesting course. But as you guys said, even with all the winds complicating matters over the weekend, the course did play easy. So I thought that was interesting. So here, I'm going to go to I'm going to go to Mike first, excuse me. I'm going to break down Whistling Straits. What did you see from the course that made it play so easy over the weekend, despite its reputation as a tough course?
The big thing that I noticed was because they ran the 2010 PGA Championship, I think on Tuesday on Tuesday before the PGA. And you notice Whistling Straits, how they have the fairways and then, all those waste bunkers covered with, the high fescue basically between the fairways, and it just looks like this rough, wild terrain. And then when the coverage starts on Thursday, I look at the course and I say, it looks like they really manicured all those waste areas. The rough is short. And if a player hits into them, he's going to be able to get out of it. Because you had guys, and I think it was Nick Watney who said it, there's a disaster waiting here on every hole. And if you remember, I think he shot, 80-something when he had the third-round lead in 2010. What they did was they took the big miss and allowed you to get away with it. Or, because basically at Whistling Straits, the reputation was if you had a miss, you would be on a side hill lie in this like 3-foot fescue, and you know what? Good luck. You're chipping back on fairway. This year, I was seeing guys hitting into those areas, and the grass was cut down so short that they had good lies. And they played the course, the course played, the way they set it up, it was only 7,500 yards, the same length they had in 2010. That course can go to 78, almost 7,800 yards. Now, with how long the guys are hitting it now, why not just set it up at that length? I mean, let's be honest. The length of, the length today, with how far guys are hitting the ball, they should be playing 8,000-yard courses. It's getting ridiculous. They have to, stop. Basically, 350 should be as far as you can hit a couple. But anyway, to get back on topic, they manicured all the rough. They cut it down short. The winds weren't bad. And then the course also was very soft. I took my, how when McCord compared the Augusta greens to being bikini waxed, I compared the greens at Whistling Straits to someone who has speed dick, meaning that they were extremely soft. So I was seeing shots hit that in 2010 would have been, you wouldn't have been able to get close to the hole. Like Spieth in round 3 on 18, if you hit that shot that close to the hole on a green that's firmer, it's a much more difficult shot because to get it close, you'd have to flirt with the water more. And basically, guys could just fly it at the hole, even if they're landing on a downslope, and the ball would stick. Now, that's probably part that they wanted the greens to be receptive, and it might have had to do also with the weather. Because really, that's the big thing. If you look year by year on the regular PGA Tour events, it's the weather that seems to determine the how difficult the course plays. But for it to play 20 under, I mean, it was just set up. I think for a major championship, you've got to have it, a little more difficult than that.
Got you. It's I mean it did make it a little bit too. It did make it too easy, and it's more fun when you have the challenge involved. I mean, that's what made the Masters great for so many years. It's what makes some of these other courses, in particular the U.S. Open, pretty great. Keeping everybody a little bit even because of the challenge of the course. So let's go to John. Any other thoughts about Whistling Straits and what made it more easy than usual?
Well, I think Mike is right on top of everything. Like I said, I really didn't follow as much of the specifics this week, but one thing I did notice is that it really has a point about the yardage being down. It seemed like there was 2 or 3 par 4s on Sunday that, people were driving the green or they were hitting their driver up 20 yards short. It just seemed like a lot of these holes were just pitch and putts on par 4s, and every par 5 was reachable, except for that hole that snaked around the water because you really couldn't, take enough off the corner to reach it in 2. But it did play. The way they set up the course, I think, was a little bit too easy. And the winning score in 2004, I believe, when Vijay Singh won was, I think it was 8 under was the playoff with Chris DeMarco again, of course, our favorite that we mentioned earlier. And then in 2010. I think it was 12 under was the winning score. So they definitely could have set the course up to make that score around the same. But I guess they just kind of got away from them, and the players they're much better now. So I won't say that I'm really upset that it was 20 under, because every once in a while you like to see a major with some good scoring, but it was almost a little too much. So, we'll see next time what they do with the course. And Whistling Straits is definitely going to get another PGA. I don't know if they're on the schedule again. I haven't even seen. I know they're going to Baltusrol next year in New Jersey. But we'll see. They'll probably get the PGA again in the coming years, and we'll see how they set up the course then. So they definitely should push it back to its maximum yardage when it returns.
Yeah, absolutely. And then it's interesting you bring up Baltusrol. It takes it right out of my mouth. That is our next subject. The PGA next year will be in New Jersey, so that means Mike has a chance to, and he will be an active part of that. He will be in attendance in this course, according to social media. He's ready to go. So, Mike, I understand you've got tickets for the event. Are you looking forward to this course and the golf major at Baltusrol?
Well, of course I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, that was a silly question. But what are you looking forward to, I guess, is the better question.
Just to have a set of weekly tickets, just to be able to, hang out for all 4 days and, just to see a major championship, very close to my home. And also, I hope no one from Baltusrol hears this. That course is probably, or that club is probably the most waspy club, in the country. It doesn't matter how rich you are. If you are not white Anglo, well, no, obviously they have to let people who aren't white join just for purposes. But basically, if you aren't from a Protestant background, you're not going to get in there. I don't care how much money you make. I could have all the money in the world, and Baltusrol would say, Mike, you know what? We don't think you fit in with our membership. But other than that, it is considered I think maybe one of the top 20 courses of the country. In fact, there's actually two courses. There's the upper course and the lower course. I forget which one they're using. I know the one that they use now for the major championships. It'll be the same one they used in 2005. But actually, they have used the other 18-hole course for major championships before. So it's unique in that regard that it's a 36-hole course, and both 18s have been used for major championships. A.W. Tillinghast is the designer, so I kind of have an idea. You'll see typical Tilly features, which is what you see at Ridgewood, which I played and where they have the Barclays. So, it should be a tremendous tournament. And actually, this is probably a good time to bring this up. The schedule next year, the PGA Championship is going to end on July 31st.
Oh, weird.
Because of the Olympics. Yes. Here, I'll give you the rundown here.
Okay.
The U.S. Open is going to end on June 19th.
Okay.
It's then going to be followed by the Quicken Loans National on June 26th. Then the next week is the WGC Bridgestone. So that ends on July 3rd. Then July 10th, the Greenbrier. July 17th, the British Open.
Wow.
July 24th, the Canadian Open. And then July 31st, the PGA Championship. So think about that, just how quickly, we always talk about how quickly these last three majors go by. They're going to go by in 6 weeks next year.
Dang. Wow.
So I know John's hometown tournament got pushed to the week after the PGA Championship, which actually shouldn't be a bad thing because, that's an easy hop over from, New Jersey.
Yep. That'd be a nice that is a kind of a nice transition, isn't it? Well, that should be a fun schedule, even if it is pretty tight and action-packed and compressed. And next year, what we can do, in addition to our usual major championship recaps, if we, assuming the shows last that long, and it probably should, but let's say we get that far, and we still have the program at that point, we can also do an Olympics preview and a recap, because we'll do a full-on Olympic coverage, but we'll do separate like golf spots, and then we'll have you both for that. So that should be a good time too, and it'll be a different ball game, no doubt. But I look forward to that as well. Hopefully, you'll be interested in that, Mike and John. John, let's get your thoughts about the upcoming PGA schedule, including Baltusrol. I think I said that right. Baltusrol over in New Jersey next year.
It's going to be interesting for sure. Mike is right. I think we actually here in Connecticut with the Travelers Championship actually really made out the whole deal, because our usual spot is the week after the U.S. Open, and I think that guys are going to be, kind of wanted saving up their energy in between the majors, because it's so close together. So I don't think a lot of guys are going to be playing the Quicken Loans National, and the Travelers is going to be ending on August 7th, which is my birthday, by the way, so that'll be a nice little thing.
Nice.
But I think you'll have a scenario where you'll have guys either hopping on right from the PGA to in New Jersey up here to Connecticut, and you'll have the other element of guys trying to qualify for the FedEx Cup. So dare I say maybe we could be in the same situation next year that we are this year, where Tiger Woods has to play a tournament he's never played before to qualify for the FedEx Cup playoffs. And if that's the case, he's never played here in Connecticut, so maybe he'll actually make the trek up here next year if he's 185th after the PGA or whatever it is, whatever he is now. But yeah, I'm looking forward to it, and I kind of feel bad for some of these other tournaments that are like the Canadian Open is literally, it goes British Open, Canadian Open, and then PGA. There's going to be literally no one at the Canadian Open. I feel bad for that. I think it's actually sponsored by RBC, so I guess there's a lot of guys that golf under, as a sponsor for them, like Jason Day and Brant Snedeker and a couple other guys. But other than that, I mean, there's going to be literally nobody's at that tournament. But in any event, it'll be an interesting schedule, and I guess we should talk about the Olympics for a second. If I'm not mistaken, you can have a maximum of 4 players per country, and it's the top 4 in the world that, from that country. It's the top 4 in the world, and I'm not sure how deep it goes. I mean, Mike has a little more knowledge on the whole thing, but I know it's the top 4 in the world. So right now, I think for Americans, it would be Spieth, obviously, and then I want to say Jim Furyk is right there.
Wow.
And then maybe Dustin Johnson, and I don't have the world rankings,
Bubba.
but I know and Bubba, right. So the Americans would be sending those 4 if the world rankings, if the Olympic team was being chosen today.
Interesting. All right, Mike. Go ahead.
I'll look it up more just to get exactly what the rule is, but I think it's that it's 2 players per country, unless a country has a number of players in the top 10 in the world. So if you have, or it might be like the top 50, I think it's the top 10, but I'm not sure. So right now, Team Ireland will be McIlroy and Shane Lowry, and actually McDowell, there won't be McDowell because he's not ranked high enough in the world. So it's not 4 per country. It's you get 4 if you have if you have enough players ranked within the top. I think it's the top 10, but I'm not sure as to actually how the format's going to work, or how they're going to judge the winners. I haven't really looked that up yet. It'll be interesting for sure. I don't know how the coverage will be, or we'll see. It's nice to see that there's going to be golf at the Olympics. So I guess it is a sport, but as to how, being able to swing a club 120 miles an hour, you could probably just get up and do that, man. Not a sport. But anyway, I mean, my God. But, what might be a really funny scenario next year is that because of the Olympics, they have to move the Ryder Cup to Hazeltine in Minnesota, and they're going to play that in October.
Wow.
It might snow.
Wow.
Can you imagine? The disaster that would be.
Man, that'd be.
So yeah, I guess the Olympics. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, and I've never really seen golf in Brazil, so that will be. You guys may have seen that because you guys are watching like international tournaments too. But I usually don't have the opportunity to watch that, and so that'll be fun. And I think Golf Channel will be in the mix though because it's an NBC network, so likely they'll throw them in there with all the other networks to cover the Olympics. So could be fun. Could be fun. Probably get all the Golf Channel guys to cover the event, so it'll be good. Good time. You know, an interesting question. Just from the top of your head, John and Mike, we have about 4 minutes. We can probably do this. Which country would you favor, knowing what we know, to win the Golf Olympics in the Olympics? So, John, which country do you feel? Because this is going to be all divided. If it was like Europeans versus America, then European would be a clear favorite. But this is breaking it into individual countries. Which country do you feel like has an advantage? John?
I don't think it's like a team competition like, before Americans would put their scores together and then if they had the lowest score, they would get the gold.
Gotcha.
I actually think it's an individual stroke play tournament. It's just that the number of players from each country, obviously I think America would have 4 now, but the rest of the world gets 2 up to, I'm not actually sure how many players qualify, but I do know it is an individual stroke play tournament. So,
okay.
I mean, it's really anybody's guess. A dude that we'd never heard of from China could come in and shoot 20 under and win the gold medal. I mean, 4 days of golf. I mean, anything can happen.
True.
With the best players in the world.
Okay, well, I stand corrected on that. Good observations, and that makes more sense now because I was going to go, like, why do we have some with 4 and some with 2? Now it makes sense because that makes perfect sense, actually. So, very well done. So, then in that case, we'll just go to final thoughts. Mike, I'll start with you. Any final thoughts about the season that was in the golf world? It was really a fun year, and really was the year of Jordan Spieth, like you said. It was really his year, and I was really happy to see him really realize some amazing potential. And you mentioned that he might have peaked. We'll see about that, but I think he's going to be great for years to come. But you said that too. So your thoughts about this year's PGA season?
Well, you know what it is, Dave? It's you pick up on hypocrisy in the golf media, and with Tiger Woods, obviously, he could do no wrong. When McIlroy came around, there was this constant criticism, and you still hear it. You can only win on these big golf courses that play soft, and when I heard that last year from Jeff Shackelford. Oh, well, you know what? The wind was down this year, and the course played kind of soft, and that's his game's limited to these. It's like they come in and they're already throwing cold water on someone who won multiple major championships last year and has 4 already, and unfortunately had a injury this year, which didn't leave him at 100% for 2 courses that would have been perfect for his game. With Spieth, I signed up for golfstats.com, which is what they use to get the XQC on the Golf Channel. Jordan Spieth is, if you look at how many fairways he hits and how long he is off the tee, and then compare it to his greens in regulation, we're seeing that it's not something that you can expect. You can't expect to play as well when you do that. I'll give you an example. At the U.S. Open, he was 68th in fairways hit, and that's among people who made the cut, 59th in driving distance, but he was 5th in greens in regulation. Now, that to me, the thing is, there are courses, I think, where Jordan Spieth will have trouble. And, no matter how great of a putter you are or how great of a short game player you are, you're not going to hole every one all the time. So he's going to be a great talent. That's for sure. But to expect it to start this theme that, he's like almost otherworldly or he has these magical powers. It's not magical powers. It's they did the same thing with Tiger Woods. It's that he's able to constantly focus on the shot and he doesn't get rattled. So let's cool off a little bit before we start declaring him superhuman or we come up with ridiculous storylines like they did with Tiger Woods. Oh, he dominated the competition and he literally, they were so scared to play him. You just hear these nonsense superlatives. Yeah, he's a great player. It's going to be fun to see him and Rory battle it out, but you want to declare him the next, Jack Nicklaus already? I don't know. I haven't seen enough yet, but time will tell. That's the great thing about golf, or sports in general. We can come up with our predictions, and if we're wrong, it really doesn't matter. So let's see what happens.
Great observation. Great closing thought, Mike. It really is, and it certainly was a year to remember. And it is going to be an ongoing question with Spieth because his driving ability just does not stay up on the same level as a lot of the other guys around him. So will that catch up to him at some point? We'll find out next year and the years to come. So let's go to John. Final thoughts, final impressions of the professional golf season in 2015.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun, and I think the theme, like I said earlier, it's the old era, the Tiger era is on its way out, and this new era of golf is here to stay, and I couldn't really be more excited about it, to be honest with you. And we still have a little bit left in the season with the FedEx Cup playoffs and whatnot. Obviously, it's not the same as the majors, but these guys will be going at it again, and it should be a lot of fun. Hopefully, like last year, Billy Horschel came out of nowhere to win this thing. Hopefully that doesn't happen again, but we'll see what happens. So, it's been a really fun year, and, we're looking forward to doing it all again next season as the Masters is only just a mere, 8 months away, so until April. So, we'll get it all going then as we'll reconvene on the program for Augusta.
I look forward to that, you guys. It's been really fun doing this over the 4 years we've started broadcasting these golf recaps, and it really wouldn't be as much fun without the two of you. It all started back when Mike in North Jersey was ripping Chris Berman for being on ESPN when he had no right to be back in the 2011 Open? I think it was.
Dave, I think our first show was the 2011 Masters.
You're right.
Recap,
it was. It was a 20. That's right. It was.
It's the previous major was the 2010 PGA at Whistling Straits. So it's almost like it's hard to believe how long we've been at doing this, and I guess we've come full circle, haven't we?
We surely have. That's pretty awesome actually to think about how we've come from Whistling Straits in the beginning to Whistling Straits now, and I think that is a great place to commemorate. And by the way, today marks our 5th anniversary of doing the show live as well. So really a lot of things coming together. I think that's really cool. So, all right, guys. Well, Mike, it's been a blast. John, it's been a blast. I'm sad too, though, because I really enjoy talking golf with you guys, but the journey doesn't end here. We can always talk golf off air as well, but we'll do it again officially in April as we do our next Masters recap. So till then, John, Mike, thanks so much. Have a great week and enjoy the football season. It should be a good time. So take it easy, fellas.
All right, sounds good, Dave.
All right, thanks. It's been a pleasure, guys.
Likewise, pleasure's all mine. Thank you very much, everybody. So Mike in North Jersey, John in Connecticut. That does it. Our number one, a great year in golf.
We love talking sports. Dave in the City.
All right, we're gonna wait now for our friend Kevin on the. We're gonna wait for our friend Kevin on the Cape to join us for Kevin's random questions. But while we go to break, why don't we give you a little piece of history from our from our 5 years of doing live shows. I was locating the first show we did live on the air on Blog Talk Radio. I was not quite able to find it, but what I can do is I can play another clip of our friend Umer in Rockland, who was among our first guests on that program back in August 2010. and I will give you his return to the podcast on this month in 2012. So 2 years later, here's what it sounded like back 3 years ago. Our friend Umer and Rockland back on the pod. We will play this as we wait for our friend Kevin on the Cape. So here it is, Umer from 2012.
Umer, welcome aboard. How's it going, my friend?
Another post.
David, welcome. How are you?
I am doing fantastic. And then on the other side, we are joined by our friend John in Brooklyn. John, are you there? I think one caller dropped off. I don't know who, but is that you, John? You there? No, he's not. So we will get him back.
John.
Yeah, we on the air, Sal? We on the air, Sal? All right, buddy.
Are we on in New York or what?
Yeah. All right, Ooms. So now in the interest of fair usage or fair broadcasting practices, whatever they used to call the fairness doctrine, I would also like to offer any other persons to offer their rants on their respective teams. I know you are a Bulls fan and hasn't really been the best of times, so this is your spot. You have the floor.
Are you serious? I have the floor right now.
Yes, I am.
All right. First off, let's go. First, I'd just like to give a Heyman congratulations to the Miami Heat on winning the first of several NBA championships. I'd also like to congratulate the Lakers and Celtics for maintaining their competitive advantage. But let's talk about my team, the Chicago Bulls. And no one cares about the Bulls. No one. But let's put it this way. Derrick Rose, shreds every ligament in his knee. He's out for like a few years. Now, it's one thing that you got to rebuild, but here's a big market team in the Chicago Bulls with Jerry Reinsdorf, who could care less about the Chicago Bulls and cares more about making profit. Here are the Chicago Bulls, who have the highest profit to salary ratio in all of sports, David, all of sports. And they carry on a contract like Carlos Boozer. And you know what? The draft comes around. And when the draft comes around, people like to draft good players or players they think they can help. So you know what the Bulls thought of after Rose shredded his knee? They said, you know what, why don't we get another 6-foot point guard? Because that's what the Bulls need. The Bulls who haven't had a low post presence in the last 12 years. Okay? It's just, I can't understand. Now, granted, the Bulls, the front office always likes to say that the Bulls were close, because they went to the Eastern Conference Finals a couple of seasons ago against the Heat. But as our good friend Mike Francesa would say,
we're this close. This close to what?
Exactly. This close to what? They should have gotten swept by the Heat. And what you have to do when you come that close is you have to semi-rebuild. They should amnesty Carlos Boozer and move on. And you know what? This stupid organization that's in a big market city like Chicago treats the Bulls like they're somewhere in the middle of the country in some small market. And for that reason, the Bulls will always be second rate no matter how good they are. I can't take it anymore. And so that's why I'm here to talk fantasy football. Thank you, David.
That's very well said, my friend.
That's back from 2012. Umer and Rockland joining us in the program. Also on this week, that was August 22nd, back in 2012. But now, here on August 19th, 2015, we celebrate our 5th anniversary, as we do with every show, with America's favorite moment in sports talk podcasting.
Do the dance. It's time for random questions. Good stuff. In the city with Kevin on the Cape.
5 years on the air, doing the show live, the Dave in the City Sportscast. And now, for the first time in our 5 years doing the show live, we introduce to you Kevin on the Cape via Skype. Welcome, Kevin. How are you doing tonight? Uh-oh. Can we hear him? Can we hear him? He's on the air. It's just that maybe he doesn't hear me yet, but you can hear him rustling. Can you hear that rustling noise? That's totally him. I don't know if he hears me, but I hear him rustling the phone. Kev, are you there? Hello. Do we have you? Do we have you? Kev? Hello? Hello? That's weird, because you can hear him. Oh, shoot. Ah, damn. All right, we're still on. We're still online. Let me. What am I gonna do? One sec. We're still online. Just a sec here. Don't do that. Okay, one sec. We're gonna go ahead and add him back to the group call. See if that works out. Okay, let's get him back. Can we hear our friend Kevin on the Cape? All right, he says, hey, I think I got it on my phone now. He should be online. I don't know if I hear him or not, though. Kev, are you there? Hello? I can see him connected. I just don't see him actually online or anything. So let me see. Kevin, call in. Okay. So here's what we're going to do. We'll add him to the group call. One sec. We're going to add him onto the call. Need to add Mr. Kevin. One sec. We got this. I just have to add the name. Bane on the tracks. One sec. We need to add him. No. I want to call him. There we go. Let's see if we got that. Okay. See if we get him on the line. 1 second. And away we go. See if we get our friend Kevin on the Cape. Yeah, sorry about that, you guys. I'm still pretty new to the Skype thing, and I heard him briefly, but I wasn't sure what was happening. Now we're going to get him back at some point, I think. We'll get it. We will get it. If we don't get it, then I'll try again another way. Let's see if we have him online. I heard the rustling of his phone briefly, so I thought that was pretty interesting. So we'll see if we get him now. I can always restart Skype. I am perfectly comfortable with restarting Skype. That's within my means. So I don't know if he's going to pick up or not, but it should be in hand at some point. Okay. We'll try it again. No answer. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do. I'll go ahead and start a group call. Well, actually, let me just quit Skype for a second. Gosh, that's crazy. Because it's, you know what, that's crazy? It's doubly crazy because it was working. It really was. I had it working, and then all of a sudden it stopped working, so it's just kind of weird. That's my bad, I guess. So we'll just keep going. We'll try it one more time, and I'll connect it again, and we'll get it rolling. So in just a minute, just going to start a group conversation. It looked great. It's just the funny thing about it. It looked really good. So I don't know. That was kind of funny. Create a new group. We'll do the host number. I don't know why I don't have Kevin's thing on here. Oh, there you go. There you are. Okay, so now we're going to add the two, and we'll see how that goes. We'll go ahead and add that. We'll call them both. All right, let's see how that goes. So over here, I need to get this going. Do we have... I'm waiting now at this point to see whether... Oh, shoot, that's no good. So, well, I'm not really worried about that. So let's go back and bring up our friend Kevin. All right. Well, we need to hang this one up. Okay. Kevin, hello, are you there? Hello? Hello? I haven't called him. Maybe I haven't called him yet. It's still ringing, okay. Let's see. He is online, though. I checked that. So, let me see. I am so close to getting this. I really am. Sorry about this, you guys. Just gonna try one more time. Let's see. No, push the button to call. I think this is mostly my fault. Because I had him on there, and then I kind of lost it, and now I got it back. What I'm doing is I turned off all my Skype sound effects, too, so I have no idea whether something's buzzing in or not. But I'm dialing him now, so I'm waiting for him to pick up. I'm just waiting. I'm waiting. I am dialing. He's just got to answer the phone, and I will be good. I saw him dial in. I could hear him, and just couldn't hear him back. It was kind of weird. So we'll try it one more time, and then we'll see how things go. We had it really sounding pretty good the other night. Then when we last week I had Kev with us, ready to go with and oh, here we go. Here he is. Let's see. Do I have you? Is that you, Kevin? I hear you. You picked up.
Hello, sir. Hello.
Hi.
Hello.
How you doing?
Yo. What's up, man?
What's up? Look at this. You're getting crystal clear. I love it. I love it.
Nice. I had to walk a little bit. My house sucks, Dave.
Oh, is that it?
There's no signal anywhere.
I got you.
So I was sitting outside, and then nothing. I tried your Skype thing. Nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Tried to call the podcast. I couldn't hear anything. So now I'm walking on the little walking path outside the golf course area. Obviously, it's 10:05, 10:10. No one's playing golf, so I think we're safe.
You know, this is so great. It's so crystal clear now, hearing you.
Although there may be coyotes.
Yeah,
I'm not really sure about that.
I can hear the crickets around you. That's how great the sound quality is now. That's fantastic.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So you can really get the feel for where you are, like based on the improved sound quality. That's really good.
So can you feel that I'm on the green on the hole number 1 at Ocean Edge Golf Course right now?
You know, once you hit a ball, we'll get to hear that too. But yeah, I got the feel. I got to feel everything. You got the golf course feel, country club feel. Everything's really lining up together. So pretty cool. Look at that.
I think this might be the first podcast. This might be the first podcast ever where someone does it from the sand trap. Because that's where I'm going.
I love it. I love it. Just it'd be good for good footing, right? So you can stay in. This is so unique. I've never really heard anyone attempt this before, but that's what makes it so great. So
hold on. We might have to abort the mission. The sprinklers are on.
Oh no! Not the sprinklers.
Yeah. The sprinklers just came on. Oh jeez.
Oh no.
Can I get I can't get electrocuted, right?
No, that's no good. That's no good. Don't. I know you make sacrifices for the program, but let's not get carried away. That's all.
Right. Yeah. You're talking to the guy who once puked on the air. So.
Yep. That's right. Puked on the air. 5 years of doing the show live, and this is 5th anniversary of our live shows, and so.
That's amazing.
Yeah. Long time. A lot been going on.
Let me be the first to say congratulations.
Well, thank you very much. Well, congrats to you as well. I appreciate your help being a tremendous co-host, and really I feel like the things we do apart don't match what we can combine to do together. That goes for everybody, and you're no exception to that. So thank you as well. So it's really been a good, fun ride.
Yeah, it has been. It's been great. We should. Yeah, wow. That's 5 years. Holy cow, that's amazing.
Yeah, I know. Where does the time go, right? I mean, all sorts of things have changed in the world of sports.
Yeah,
oh boy.
Where did the time go?
Yeah. And it's great to see it all kind of be culminated here. And now you're coming in and everything it's terrific. So what have been some of your favorite moments over these 5 years, from 2010 to now? Anything that stands out to you from the show, or just from anything?
Oh, so many things. I think the first thing that comes to my mind is the first few phone calls that we had. Our friend who used to play, or he probably still plays, jazz guitar.
Oh, that guy,
Florida. And yeah, I think him and I did shows with you, like 2 shows.
That's right.
And he talked way too much.
Yes, he did.
I couldn't really talk. So my contribution was kind of limited. But then after that was it was the first year and a half, maybe 2 years, when that chat room was just exploding with just awesome comments and questions and stuff that actually made the show what it was. It wasn't even you and me. It was these guys with these just really cool random questions, for lack of a better term. It's just totally off the wall things, and we took it and ran with it. That's probably the lasting memory of that. That really was pretty raw. It was cool. There was no filter. They asked a lot of things. Some things we didn't know what they were even asking, but it was really cool.
Yeah, that is a good point. I mean, that's what made random questions back in the day. Like, it was back when people could get to the chat room, and it's back when the board was a bigger deal too. That's another thing to bear in mind, because like the board hasn't really been the same since then. I mean, things kind of fractured off into different things, and we've already talked about.
Yeah, totally. You nailed it in the beginning too, because you kind of timed the shows right when the games are going, right when the games are sort of ending. So all those guys were still awake and they were still into it, and they were still, I'm sure, a couple of beers in, so they got a little fancy on their questions. So that was a good lead in. Kind of used the board as kind of those game threads as a lead into the show, which was really cool.
Absolutely, and the time slot was really essential to the success of the random question segment. We'd always do it at this time, but we do it at the time we do it now, I suppose. But we did it at 10 Eastern, so it would be right after the Yankee game and the Met game would be ending. And you ever notice that? Like, it's always during the summer when it was at its best. Like, that was really the fun thing about it. Like, you'd think, oh, it's during football season, but no, it's actually during the baseball season when everybody's just chilling, having a good time. That's when it really flourished.
Absolutely. And then I have tons of great memories of shows and conversations and stories, I'm sure. But then it culminated with the actual in-studio visit most recently. That was tremendous. I never watched it before until just like 2 weeks ago. And I was just screwing around on my iPad and found our show and reminisced about going to Santa Monica and doing the show live from the Dave studio. So that was a cool memory as well.
I mirror that. I mean, it was really, I was looking forward for years and years and years. I was looking forward so much to meeting you. And when you finally came in to the home studio, it was really just a highlight of my lifetime. Honestly, it was really cool to finally meet you. And what a thrill that was.
And as I was watching the show, there's a little known fact, maybe Tommy or Andy picked up on it. I didn't even pick up on it when it was going on, but there's a cigar in my left chest pocket during that entire show.
Oh, I never noticed that.
Yeah,
Well, good eye.
Me neither.
Wow.
Yeah.
How poetic.
It wasn't one of those two guys, but someone emailed me that, I guess, or said something, and I said something like, "Why was it in your pocket? Why weren't you smoking it?" And I'm like, "Well, I didn't even remember that it was there, let alone can't really light up in the studio with the microphones and everything."
Yeah.
As much as I would love to be Hunter Thompson, I'm not, so I can't really be lighting up inside.
I don't even know if we are allowed to smoke inside the apartment. I think we are. We should be. I don't think there's a reason not to, but never thought about that. It's interesting viewpoint, no doubt. And so, yeah, I mean, the guests we've had on the show too, besides us, I mean, some of the guys have been contributed to the show. We already mentioned Cap ad nauseum.
We've had people call in. There were some strange people who just kind of rambled on to your show.
Oh,
didn't know what we were doing.
Well,
it's been really fun.
Yep. Oh, absolutely, nature of the beast. So, you know, I have some highlights here from our years. Apparently, most of these are from the same year. I was trying to dig up clips from all sorts of years. All I'm getting is 2012, but we may as well. 2011 is when we really hit our stride, but 2012 was sort of a continuation of that. And I see a couple of rants on here. But first, let me see if you remember this. Listen to this. You remember this music?
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. Wasn't that funny?
Definitely, yeah. The music has been amazing.
Yeah, no doubt. That was good. That was good stuff. And you'd hear that go.
Yeah. No, you've been great. There were times where you played a Bob jingle. You played I Love L.A. I remember singing to Randy Newman. Yeah, there's been some good music as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. And you introduced me to a Grateful Dead tune called West L.A. Fadeaway, which I think is pretty awesome.
Oh, man. Such a great one.
What year did that come out? I'd always wondered about that because it seemed more recent than their classic stuff, but not like maybe right about the time they did I Will Survive. Like what year was that? Do you know?
You mean you're thinking of Touch of Grey?
Yeah, Touch of Grey. Yeah, Touch of Grey is the song they speak of. That's
yeah, that was before. I think LA Fadeaway was before that, but not. I think you're right. It's probably a late 70s, early 80s tune. It was definitely before Touch of Grey. Touch of Grey was sort of the last. It was From the Dark or In the Dark was the name of the album.
I see.
That was the one that was like the late 80s, so it actually had MTV videos and stuff. But yeah, well, West LA Fade, it was still later, but it wasn't. It was before Touch of Grey. But yeah, that's a great tune. And then, you always had your West LA studio, so I thought that was a natural fit.
Yeah, at the time it was West LA. That's right. And so I just thought that everything really tied together well that time. Yeah, it was really true. Let's see if we can get a cut of that West LA Fadeaway for you. So I want to bring back as much of this. There are extremely few songs that have anything to do with West LA. I've never heard any song related to that before, so this is definitely a treat. So I was surprised me that there even existed a West LA song. So here it is. Ah, there you go.
Yeah.
That's good stuff. Yeah. I liked it a lot. That's pretty good. Yeah, you got it. You got the idea. So there it is. Yeah, it's really been a blast. I do miss having people to do. I miss having guys to fill in with the questions. We tried to do a new chat room earlier this year, and it just wasn't sitting. It just wasn't happening with a lot of people. I guess the reason is because it's tough to get to there off of a phone or whatever. But that was also the case before too. It's just, I guess things change, and we just don't have the pool of people to pull from as we used to. And by that point, you lose the momentum, and that's kind of it. It's kind of gone. So that's why I'm always freaking out a bit when we have an extended break on the program, because like people are out of the routine, they may not come back. So that's why I worry when we can't, like, say we can't do a Wednesday show, like we have to do it Tuesday or Thursday. It does make me frightened a little bit, because then I wonder if people are going to catch on to it.
Yeah, absolutely. That was part of why it took off so well. We're doing it the same night every time, every hour. People were actually even sending me questions off the show, the email and those private messages and stuff. So they kind of got into the routine. But now with your iTunes and stuff, they can at least still listen. But yeah, you can't get it back. It's like one of those things where, you can never get the 86 Mets back. It's all gone. It's over.
Yeah.
But it was good. It was good, and it's good memories.
For sure. I certainly cherish the moments we did have with our live audience at the time. I think if there's one way to get it back, maybe what we could do is move to Spreaker for live shows, but it's going to take another investment. So I'm basically going to, if I do that, what I'd have to do is I'd have to end my relationship with Blog Talk Radio, which I'd be happy to do because they're pretty worthless for the most part, pretty unreliable. But it might happen, might not happen. I'm not sure. The trick right now is figuring out how do you get the phone calls. That's the thing I'm curious about. Like, how do we get other people to call the show? And so I'd have to, you know what I mean? Like, I'd have to come up with I'd have to come up with a call-in number. I think it's feasible to do, but it's going to be a challenge. So I don't really have the time to invest in that right now, but it's pretty close. Like, you can make it happen if you really wanted to, and I got to figure out how much it's going to cost too. So stay tuned. It'll be interesting because it would be a lot easier to use Spreaker than anything else that we have right now. I don't know if you're familiar with the app, but it's the app I use for my other show, for the Dining with Dave show. But I don't use it.
Yeah, I listened to the Oyster one, so I got on
nice
that website recently. So.
I think you sounded pretty good on that Oyster show because you were our co-host on that program, or guest. And
that was good. I enjoyed that, and I enjoyed the 10 things you didn't know about oysters. That was cool.
Yeah, thank you. I'm glad. I was happy to find that. I usually find some neat material for that. This week our show is going to be ice cream. This week is actually Gringo Tacos, but the next week's program that I'm about to produce will be ice cream. So I look forward to that. So my challenge now.
Wow.
Yeah, this will be fun. It's a good time to do it, right? It's a hot time of the year. And ice cream.
Yeah.
Fun subject.
You may have to get my wonderful girlfriend for her first appearance. This girl makes her own homemade ice cream.
Oh, nice. That's right. Very nice. Very nice. Very, very nice. I may take you up on that. That'd be great. That would really be fun. So, I do have to get somebody though, for sure. Somebody, anybody. If she would like to volunteer services, I'd be up for that. I would do that. That'd be great.
I mean, I'm thinking that, or like the Ben and Jerry's guys. They're probably not doing anything right now.
Sitting on their billions. But other than that, no, you're right.
Yeah.
Not bad. It's a good choice. I'll see. They probably won't want to waste their time with me, but I definitely somebody like that, like somebody from an ice cream company, is who I want. I want to talk to someone in ice cream and talk about, what are your popular flavors right now? Is it all the classics? Do you have any new ones? Things like that. And it's just 6 minutes. You can see the show is much faster paced, so there is that. So anyway, Junkman, we are at half past, and I thank you again, once again, for all the years. It's really been fun, and hopefully more of the same. And however we come to you, whatever the medium, I can guarantee you that we're going to have a really great time, and we're going to put a lot of good work into making the show what it is. So, our thanks. Okay, let's get to a new feature we have. And this is called Dave Breaks Down the Top 10. So here, what we're going to do, Junkie,
nice.
The two of us are going to listen to samples of each of the top 10 songs of the month. And we'll just give our quick opinions about it. What do you think? Is it a clown show? Is it good? Is it bad? Whatever. And so here we are. We're going to count them one by one, and we'll just see what kind of circus this is. So we will begin with song numero uno, which is actually song number 10 because we're counting down. So the 10th best song in the country this week. The first three are going to be a little out of order because I forgot where a certain song was. I'll explain in a minute. But number 10 for sure is this tune from Walk the Moon.
Oh, don't you dare look back, just keep your eyes on me. I said you're holding back. She said shut up and dance with me.
All right, there it is. So number 10. I don't like the song at all. I've heard the song a few times in commercials and stuff. This is a very annoying song. So let me give you a little bit more of it. What do you think?
We were victims of the night. The chemical, physical, kryptonite.
Can you hear it?
I can.
Pretty corny. What do you think?
Hello?
Dave, Junkman, I'm here. Can you hear? Hello?
Did you just stop?
Kev, are you there?
Hello?
Uh-oh. I may have lost him. Hello, Kev, are you there? Maybe that's a little tough to do with the music.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Oh, okay, there you go, yeah. I guess the mix of the music and my voice together is kind of weird on the Skype. But what did you think of that song?
Yeah.
What was that to you?
It was a little overproduced.
Yeah.
Not surprising. But yeah, it's probably a good 30 seconds for a commercial. But I don't know if I'd want to listen to that for 3 minutes.
Dude, it's crap, man. That's a terrible song. That song is annoying to me. But I agree. Like, it is good to be. It does sound like the kind of song that you can use in a commercial, right? And it's been used in a commercial. We've seen it in TV shows and all that. So it does. It's overproduced it's overproduced for shit, no doubt. But as you mentioned, it's like perfect for commercials because it's like it's got the peppy beat, it's got all that stuff going. So
right. Totally.
That's why it's top 10. All right. Number 9. This is called Fight Song by Rachel Platten. Fight Song. All right, can you hear me okay?
Well, she's got a lot of fight left in her, which is good. I'm not really sure what she's fighting. I'm not really sure what she's fighting for. Maybe it's for.
It's like Band on the Run. What is she fighting for?
Yeah, why Yeah, what are you on the run for? Maybe she's fighting for Hillary Clinton or illegal immigrants. I'm not really sure. She didn't make it clear what she's fighting for. See, I would like to know what someone's fighting for. I mean, back when I was a kid, or even when our other, we knew what Fidel Castro was fighting for, and we knew what John F. Kennedy was fighting for. We even knew what Richard Nixon was fighting for, but I don't really know what she's fighting for. She didn't really explain it.
She's very worked up about fighting for this thing that we don't know about. It's kind of like that Meatloaf song, I would do anything for love, but I won't do that. But what's that? We want to...
Right, what is that?
What is that?
I always thought that was he would not have a threesome. I thought that's maybe what he wouldn't do.
Right.
Because that'd be a little weird. A threesome with another guy. I thought that was what he was doing.
It had to be sexual, no doubt.
Because he had a freaky girlfriend or something.
It's a good guess.
So
good guess. Probably.
Yeah, I mean, when it comes down to it, I mean, you can't have a revolution if you don't know what you're fighting for.
Right.
The revolutions that are a little ambiguous usually fail. They all fail, actually. They don't usually fail. They all fail. You need to know what you're fighting for.
Well
Sam
said.
Adams and Paul Revere, those guys, they knew what they were fighting for.
Exactly.
This chick, I don't think she knows.
Again, the song was Fight Song by, forgot the name already. I lost this on the screen. So Junkie and I, we are counting down, we are breaking down the top 10 in the Billboard, on the Billboard Hot 100. We break down the top 10. We've just done number 10 and number 9. This is number 8.
Cause baby, now we got bad blood. You know it used to be mad love. So take a look what you've done. Cause baby, now we got bad blood. Hey, now we got problems.
All right, you know who this is. Taylor Swift, with a song that's been on the countdown for 852 weeks, Bad Blood. And her tight ass made me buy this on iTunes. I had to go buy it on iTunes and download it so I could play it on the program. And the irony of this is that if YouTube sees what we're doing and recognizes the songs, this whole thing could be blocked from YouTube. So that's ironic.
Wow.
It's possible.
So you're telling me that I might be taken down by a 5'2", 103-pound terrible guitar player?
It wouldn't be her.
That is not who I thought I would have been taken down by. I thought obviously heart disease, because I'm getting old. Maybe lightning outside, because I'm sitting here on the golf course, but not that thing.
Imagine that. Taylor Swift taking you down. So number 8 on the top 10, Taylor Swift, Bad Blood from the 1989 album. So there you have it. She's on tour right now, going throughout the country. She'll be in Los Angeles next week. FYI.
Nice.
Yeah.
I won't be there, but nice.
Yeah, good stuff. All right, so we're counting down the top 10.
As one of our old friends used to say, not if it was even in my backyard.
There you go. Our friend Kevin on the Cape and I, Dave Medina, on our 5th anniversary doing live shows, we're introducing a new feature called Dave and Junkie Break Down the Top 10. So, from the Billboard Hot 100, this is number 7.
Mickey on the track.
Yeah, baby. Baby, won't you come my way? Got something I want to say.
This is like a Jerry Piscataway song right here. Look at that. Take a go wild guess what the name of the song is.
What it sounded like when I raped Alvin from Alvin and the Chipmunks.
This is why I love it. I'm so glad you're here doing this with me. This is great. The song is called My Way, and it's from Fetty Wap featuring...
It wasn't Alvin's way, I'll tell you that.
That is so good. That's so funny. So that's number 7, Fetty Way featuring Monty. Number 7. So take that, Kiss FM. Take that, Z100. There you have it. Number 7 on the countdown. In a few weeks, we are going to be the #1 countdown show of record. So away we
Absolutely.
go. Away we go, Junkman. So number 6 on the top 10 from the Billboard Hot 100.
Audio production.
You can make the Asteroids machine make music too. Oh, this song! I know this song! Cap used this as one of his intros. I like this song. This is good stuff. Same guy, Fetty Wap, featuring Quavo and Gucci Mane. Fetty Wap. Do you think that's his real name? I wonder. Good song.
Actually, it's,
Go ahead.
I said actually that's sort of featuring a really crappy computer. And, something that I would expected Dave in the City circa 1989 would have made.
Yeah, seriously, that sound effect sounded like came out of my Nintendo. Good stuff.
Yeah, it sounded like that first keyboard your parents got you, and you couldn't play it, but you had those little buttons that made weird sounds, so it sounded like you were playing it.
Nice. Yeah, you remember Game Genie? Like you could make the thing kick like 900 times in one push and one button. Like you could do 8,000 fireballs like by pushing B. That's good shit.
Yeah, it sounds like he was like, hold B, hold it down, A B.
That song was also good. The song's original title was Contra Code, but that did not make it through the record company. So
that would have been awesome.
Would have. I agree. All right, so Kev, here we go. We're counting down the top 10. I keep saying count down the top. I'm supposed to say break down the top 10, but fuck it. It's count down the top 10. We'll just go with it. Dave and Junkie count down the top 10. Number 5 from the Billboard 500. Billboard 500. Is it S&P 500? Billboard 500? No. Number 5 from the Hot 100. Number 5 is. Did you recall long ago that we would walk on the sidewalk?
No, I did not. I recall. I did recall long ago when they actually made real music. Not this horse shit.
Oh wow, he's really getting into it. This is called "Lean On." It is by Major Lazer. Yeah.
Major Lazer. That is actually kind of a cool name. I'll give him that.
I like it. I like Major Lazer. I can dig that. It's good for
yeah, no, that name is cool, but their music is trash.
The arcade machine went loose again. All right, we'll try.
Sounds sort of like a teenage Gwen Stefani.
Go right there. Yeah, a little bit. All right, so that's number 5. So imagine the songs that aren't that good. What are they sounding like? This is what's number 5.
Yeah, that was going to be my next thought, was that this is the top 10. Anyone who's out of the top 10 should just kill themselves.
All right, so we're going to get a little bit of a peel back from the technology for number 4, because I'm familiar with this song. So from the Hot 100, number 4 in the Dave and Junkie Countdown the Top 10 countdown. We'll play this out a little bit because it'll make more sense when you hear the voice. You've probably heard this before.
It's been a long day without you, my friend. And I'll tell you all about it when I see you again.
There you go.
We've come a long way.
What's nice about music today is that you do get to the punchline pretty quickly. Like, you get the feel for, like, what the tagline is or what the chorus is very early. Like, you get it within, like, 30 seconds. Like, you get the feel for the song, the catchphrase. So, there you go. This is See You Again. Charlie Push on the vocals, a Wiz Khalifa song. Wiz Khalifa put its name on the map with the song Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow, Black and Yellow. I like that song, but that's their other song. So this is See You Again. Good song. I like it. This is a good one. What do you think of it?
It's sort of a modern day. You refer to a certain brand of music as whiny guy radio, which started out with James Taylor, as we all know.
Yeah,
and this seems like it's the modern day version of a guy who
Cat Stevens
just can't get laid, and he's whining about it, and it's really annoying for those of us in normal society who actually know how to talk to women. And this is sort of, I mean, there's many other people, but James Taylor started it, and it's Whiny Guy Radio 101 right there.
I'm so glad that we did this feature. This is great. I love this junk, man. Okay, so Dave and Junkie count down the top 10. Number 3 in popularity on the Billboard Hot 100.
You already know what it is. Silent talk, silent talk, silent talk. Go and do it for me. Now watch me whip, kill it. Now watch me nay nay. Okay. Now watch me whip, whip. Watch me nay nay. Now watch me whip.
So, not surprisingly, the song is called Watch Me Whip, Watch Me Nay Nay. And it's by, if you hadn't guessed by now, Silento. So Silento does a song, and there it is.
Amazingly, I would not have guessed that. I wasn't really sure that was English. I was kind of confused.
I'm not going down that slow.
My phone had a weird language translation thing there.
I
thought that was Portuguese for a minute. I wasn't sure.
All right, so there it is. Number 3. Wow, number 3 in the country. That's what that is. So Silento, congrats to them. Number 3 for the month of August. Now number 2 on the Hot 100 in terms of popularity. Here it is for you on Dave and Junkie Countdown the Top 10.
And I know she'll be the death of me, at least we'll both be numb. And she'll always get the best of me, the worst is yet to come. But at least we'll both be beautiful and stay forever young. This I know.
Alright.
This I know. She told me don't worry.
This ain't bad. This ain't bad. This is called Can't Feel My Face by the very much talked about band called The Weeknd. So The Weeknd with Can't Feel My Face.
Can't Feel My Face?
Mm-hmm.
Can't Feel My Face makes me want to wish I can't feel my ears.
Are your ears bleeding from that?
That's pretty bad. That sort of makes our old friend Michael Jackson probably turn in his grave.
Oh, that's the truth. Wow. Trying to compare that to Michael Jackson? That's crazy. It's just amazing.
I mean, yeah, his voice got a high note, but that was terrible. That's the number 2 song in this country. I think I'm not really sure if I want to live in this country.
But you have to be. But the thing is, this is probably number 2 in different countries too. It's like probably number 1 in another country, number 3 in a different country.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure. Oh,
yeah.
Absolutely.
There's no escaping.
Yeah. Right. So. Yeah, so you're right. I take that back. This is astonishing to me. I've never heard of any of these songs, let alone the number 2 song in the country. I cannot even imagine what number 1 is after all this.
I'm glad you brought that up because this is gonna.
It's not Don McLean. It's not Don McLean's. It's not Don McLean American Pie, is it?
No. It is not on the level of that. Here is the number 1 song in the land. Oops, this is the same song. Hang on. This is the number 1 song in the land.
My one solution is my queen, cause she stays strong. Yeah, yeah. She is always in my corner, right there when I wanna. All these
All right,
other girls
Cheerleader by OMI featuring. No, that's it. OMI with Cheerleader, #1 in the country for the month of August. There you go. Cheerleader. Are you just blown away by the music, Junkman?
Now we know we know the real reason why Mr. Francesa takes the summer off, because nothing good happens in the summer.
Remember he would talk about the about hearing the Doors, Light My Fire, and it would be on like all the radios in the beach. Like he'd walk around and it'd be the same song on all of them because they all listen to the same station.
Did he actually talk to?
No, he was
That'd be
talking
pretty
about
cool.
that on
Never
the
heard that
show.
story.
Yeah, he was talking about that on his show, and just to give you an idea, like radio in the '60s, music in the '60s, you know, Doors were huge in the late '60s, 1967, and that song went on forever too. Like, "Come on, baby, light my fire." Da, 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 da.
Right. So just imagine that you're out on the beach with your friends and you're hanging out, you know, playing your frisbee or whatever that people do on the beach, and you're listening to the Doors, and now currently people are listening to that.
Yeah,
It's a little scary.
Now in the beach, this is what you hear on every radio.
When you're gone and they say, do you need me? Do you think I'm pretty? Do I make you feel like cheating?
There's nothing authentic about that voice. Nothing.
No.
Not a thing.
No.
Wow.
It's very strange. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's even before our time. You know, they were all about albums and those kind of things. It seems just like they're just producing these massively electronic, super overproduced tracks. I don't even think if these guys played live, they would even sound like that. Where you can listen to the Eagles on their CD. I don't really like them, but you can listen to them on their albums, and then you can go to their live show, and they sound exactly the same.
It's true. I mean, for the most part, yeah, it's pretty much true. Because they were really, really were down to basics with their arrangement.
Yeah, I know. I know people overdub everything, you know, and they did their voices twice or
Especially
that kind
the
of
70s.
stuff. But it was still their voice. Like I know
True.
they dubbed it and they did it. You know, the background was the same voice and stuff, but it was still their voice. It wasn't computer generated.
True, very true. It wasn't that wildly distorted. Well, I mean, they had vocoders. Like, you know, you would hear Peter Frampton, and it was like, "Do you feel like I do?" with a guitar.
Right. Yeah, exactly. But
for the most part, it was still their voice. You're right.
Yeah, Marvin Gaye sounded like Marvin Gaye when you.
Oh my gosh.
Or when you heard the record, you know, there was Joni Mitchell. And even later, you know.
Right. Hey, I got a fun
Dylan
one.
and Springsteen, their voices, they were that. Whether they're good or bad, it's still that's it. You know, they were. Here it is. This is what I got. You can like it or not.
That's just a great observation, Junkie. So what I'm going to do right now for you, and I don't know if I can do one for 95. Let's see how far this goes. But if I can find 1995. I can even find 2000. I can even find 2005. Like, what was the number one song you think in 1995 on this week in 1995? What do you think, Junkman? If you were to guess, like what band do you think would be number one in the country in 1995 on this date? Uh-oh. I think I lost him. It's too quiet. I think I lost our friend. Oh, here he is. Let me get him back. Kev, is that you? Hello? Hello? Kev? Oh, boy. Oh, boy. I think we're getting a little bit of a signal issue over with Kevin on the Cape, but we certainly had a good run there.
Yeah, sorry.
Oh, is that you? Okay, there you go.
Yeah, I'm here. Hello?
Okay, so here we are. So what was number one this week in 1995? Take a guess.
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. So can you guess what was number one See if I can get this. The number one song in the week in August 1995. What would you guess it is? Uh-oh.
Yes. 95. The Jewel songs.
I think Jewel might have been after 95 a little bit, but,
Hello?
Kev, I'm here. Can you hear me? Hello? Your signal's pretty weak, I should mention.
Yeah, maybe. Sheryl Crow. I'm going to go up there.
That's a good guess. Good guess.
Sheryl Crow song.
Good guess. Okay.
Sheryl Crow? No?
It is not Sheryl Crow. It is this song.
Just got a text message real quick.
Remember Seal? Seal. Oh, shoot. He's off. Kev's offline. Let's go ahead and get him back on. See if he can hear this. Can you hear this, Kevin? Can you hear me? Kev? Oh, shoot. I'll try it again. Signal's a little spotty, our friend Kevin is. Kev, are you there? Hello?
Yeah.
Your signal's still pretty weak.
I just got hit by a sprinkler.
Ooh, is that what happened? That's a bummer. Okay, are you okay? You didn't get electrocuted, did you?
Yeah, I think we're fading out.
Okay.
What? Hello?
Hello. Can you hear me? Hello? Kev?
No, I got pretty wet though.
Oh boy.
Yeah, I got pretty wet.
Ay yoy.
Yeah, I'm here.
The sprinklers really jacked you up, didn't? But that's okay.
Yeah.
Glad you're okay though. Glad you're okay.
Pretty bad. Yeah, I'm all right.
All right, so you guessed Sheryl Crow for your 1995 song of number one song. You're very close. Well, you're close in the sense that you had the right idea, but it's not Sheryl Crow. It is this.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know why? It wasn't like that Batman movie, I think.
Yeah, that Batman movie was all over the place in 1995. Kiss from a Rose from Seal.
Yeah, that was a big help.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Good stuff. Okay, so now
I didn't hear any computers. I didn't hear any computers with that one either.
No, this is pretty acoustic right here.
Yeah.
That's good shit. Good song. I did like that. Okay. So now let's take the stylus a step back. Now we could do 2005, but maybe we'll have more time for that next week. What do you think was the number one song of 1985 this week? Uh-oh. Kev?
I believe that might have been Touch of Grey.
Nah, that would have been 87.
87, damn it.
Yeah. So
I was still pretty young in 85. I'll say it's not Michael Jackson. Yeah, maybe.
All right. Let's give it a go.
Well, what was it?
Okay. It wasn't Michael Jackson, but number one for the week ending. What does it say here? For the week ending just a sec here. For the week ending August 25th, 1985, which means that we would have been in the middle of that week now. Number one that week would be. Okay. So let me give you a hint on this, because you'll probably get it when you guess this, when you hear this. All right. So remember how we? Do you remember how we were talking about how Batman Forever was a big driving force behind the Seal song? Think of a movie from that year.
Yeah.
Name the most popular song from that movie from the year 1985.
The Ghostbusters movie.
You're about a year off. You're a year off. That was 84.
Oh,
very
so
close. Very close.
So then I don't know.
No, what happened the year after? think about they were trying to go to this year.
Beverly Hills Cop.
Same year, 84. Okay, let me just play it for you. 85,
Wait,
August, number 1 in the charts for many weeks. Here it is.
Nice.
Yeah, good stuff, right? Huey Lewis in the News, Power of Love. Coming at you. I love this stuff. It's a good movie. I love Back to the Future. It's one of my all-time favorites, too.
Oh, Back to the Future. Yeah. Good call, Dave.
Good stuff. All right, so we'll do one more.
Solid.
One more, and then we'll close.
Yeah, it's a great movie.
Good movie, wasn't it? Yeah. Really good. Really enjoyed it. So, now let's do number 1 in
Oh, yeah, terrific.
1975. Now, this is going to be tough, because I don't know if... probably not going to get this either. But think the summer of 75. What would have been number 1 in the summer of 1975?
Oh, it's probably Band on the Run.
You might be right. Let's go to the tape and find out. Let's see. I have to actually look it up. So if you could just give me a minute here while you stay dry. Are you drying up okay?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay, good. Okay, great. So give me a sec here. I'll get it. So I'm doing a couple things. I'm not only looking up what it was, and then I got to find it over here. Oh. I don't know if either of us would have gotten this, even with like 20 guesses. Let me play this for you. I don't even know what this song sounds like. That's what's so crazy about this. You ready for this? Okay, one sec. Let's see if I have it. I don't even know if I have it here. That's what's crazy. I don't even know. Some of the 70s stuff can be pretty obscure, you know? Oh, no, I think I got it here. I think I got it. Okay. Okay, here it is. The number 1 song this week in 1975, 40 years ago this week.
Falling in love again.
That's crazy. Isn't that crazy? So that's Fallen in Love by Hamilton, Joe Frank,
Yeah, that's pretty
and Reynolds.
crappy.
Crappy. There you go. So that's 1975. And then, you know, if you want to, I could do 2005.
That's pretty awful.
Yeah. Oh, that's great. That's great.
Just in case anyone was wondering, just in case anyone was curious about the history of our country and the world, and Blood on the Tracks was released in 1975.
That's true.
I don't know what everyone else is listening to, but those people are crazy.
I love it, buddy. I do. That's pretty spot on.
Yeah. Just to think that was a year before I was born.
Oh wow! How about that?
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know where we've come. I don't know how to end this. I don't know how to wrap this. I don't know how to wrap this hour up on that note. But
no, the only way
I'm nervous about what's going to happen in the next 40 years.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it just goes to show you, though, Junkie, that crappy music has been around as long as we've been around. So what has been?
Oh yeah.
It's always been a lot of gunk on the top of the charts. So with that, let us close for the evening. That's I wish I had like a closer. I would like to have like a closing song or a closing jingle or something.
Yeah,
like,
it'd be cool if you had the number 1 song from 1965. But
I can get that. Let me
that'd
look
be a
it
good
up.
closer. I'm gonna bank my reputation. I don't know what it was, but I'm gonna bank my reputation on that it was a good song to end the show with.
Let's get it. I'm getting it right now. All right, so you're gonna bank your reputation on this. Let us go to the audio.
I have no idea what.
All right, so let's get your guess. What do you think? What do you think was the number 1 song in 19? And I'm gonna have to go to YouTube for this because I don't think I don't think I'm going to find it on Spotify. But what do you think was the number one song of 1965 this week?
I'm going to say it was, I don't know, I'm trying to think of the Beatles, the Stones, it's more like 66. Maybe like an early Beatles song, like, not A Hard Day's Night, but something in that range. I'm going to say Help by the Beatles.
And this is a tremendous guess. A tremendous guess. A tremendous guess for number one. Because, you know, if you're in the 60s at all, you're guessing Beatles, you're making a great guess. The Beatles dominated the charts for so many weeks in 1965. And I'll tell you this, the number one song this week, 1965, is...
They say we're young and we don't know.
Can you believe it?
Oh, no.
What a curveball.
Oh, my God.
So you can share.
Oh, my God.
I got you, babe. Number one this week, 1965.
I'm gonna go. This might be the second time I throw up on the air.
That's a surprise.
I can't take it anymore.
That's a surprise, isn't it? Oh my gosh, that's crazy, isn't it? So there you go. 1965. But again, goes back to our original point. Like, just, you know, no, even we might think idyllic of certain decades in the past, but they have had just as much garbage in the charts as anything else. I like that song, but you know, I get you. It's not the pinnacle of music, certainly not. Are you all right? Did you recover from that all right? And did you need a barf bag?
No, not at all. I gotta take a shower.
All right. Well, that's going to do it for the show tonight. We are out of time. But, Kev, I really enjoyed this. This was really good. So we'll do this again next month. At the beginning of every month, Dave and Junkie count down the top 10. And we will also give you, like, little fun trivia like that. Like, you know, this is the number one a year ago. This is number one, like, 2 years ago. And this was number one 10 years ago. Whatever. We'll do that as we go along.
No, it's a great idea. I enjoyed it. Thanks, Dave.
Good stuff. All right. Well, that's all the time I've got. Kev, any final thoughts before we hand it off to the weekend?
Yeah. Anyone out there who's listening who has children, please teach them how to play guitar and maybe a piano, and that would be nice for the future of for our ears. That'd be a really great thing you could do for society. An actual guitar, like with strings and stuff. That would be sweet.
Well said, Junk. Man, well said. Well, that's going to do it then. Kev, have a great weekend. Enjoy your time. And thanks for joining us on Skype tonight. It was fun.
You got it, man.
All right,
Take care, brother.
You got it. All right, that's Kevin on the Cape, and that's our show. Thank you so much for listening, everybody. Thanks for letting us go over a little bit tonight. We really had a blast. Thanks to John in Connecticut and Mike in North Jersey for joining us for the golf spot. And thanks to all of you for listening. We are at DidCow on Twitter. We are on Facebook at facebook.com/DidCow. And our website is www.didcow.com. YouTube, we're at youtube.com/DidCow. So any which way you can catch us. Have a great weekend, everybody. Enjoy the summer. We'll see you next time.